Liam, the highs of the second half were even more extreme than the lows of the first half.
Yeah, it's football. It was a game of two halves. West Ham were by far the better team. The first half, in terms of our energy, our quality just wasn't there. We were lethargic, we made tired decisions, our shape wasn't good enough, and they deserved to be 2-0 up. But for all of the things that I've asked from the players in terms of reacting positively to setbacks, the second half performance was everything I want to see in a team. Tactics went out the window. It's about heart and spirit and fight, and to hear Stamford Bridge, the atmosphere, the fans got behind the players, and hopefully that can kick-start us into a really good end of the season.
It's 2 comeback wins in a week after the Napoli game on Wednesday, and substitutions have played a big part in both of them.
Yeah, substitutions, but when you have my subs were Reece James, Marco Correa, João Pedro is on fire, Pedro Neto's an outstanding player. It's just like I need to use them, and I'll make early changes. And it's no disrespect to the players who came off. They're still a massive part of our plans moving forward, but I needed to change something because we weren't good enough in the first half. But the fight, the spirit, the passion of the team made me a really, really happy manager tonight.
Incredible comeback. How did you do it?
Yeah, well, I think at the halftime we speak, we improve some needs. At the end is about the mentality, about the desire. I think we show it in the second half, and we are very happy.
How much did Liam Rosenior say to you at half-time that things had to change? What was it in particular?
Well, I think they said it's about us. If we go to press, if we want the ball, if we play with confidence, we can create chances. This is what we do. And we are very happy for these 3 points because it's very important for us.
João, with some very strong words at half-time, because the first half, it wasn't acceptable, was it?
Yeah, sometimes this can happen, but you have a stronger squad. I think you show again one more time why you are capable to do it, and now you need to look forward and keep going like this.
How pleased are you with the strength of the team and the way they attacked that second half?
I think we know our power. I think when they first play with us, we have more energy to do like this, to do the comeback. So yeah, another special day, and when they have a great game on Tuesday as well.
Mark, even though there was only one half of football to do it, were you confident you could get the 3 goals?
Yeah, well, I know we are tough, but we have a very good players, very good team. I think we adjust some beats, and then since the start of the second half, we show a lot of energy, a lot of desire, and with this tunnel, if we play always with this energy, I think we are able to win a lot of games.
João, how much character has this team got? You came back against Napoli, you've done it against here.
Well, I think the team is very young, but also everyone trusting each other. I think that's our power. I think, yeah, we still can improve a lot, but I think this game is important to show for the fans how strong we are.
Well done to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. At half-time, the verdict from the fans was very obvious. They didn't like what they saw in the first half. So what was the difference that you made the second half, plus the substitutes, of course?
Yeah, no, it wasn't about tactics. It's been a tough week physically, mentally, to go away to Napoli and win. I sensed before the game, and it's not anything about the players or their lack of application. I sensed the mental lethargy. We were lethargic in the warm-up, and we continued that into the game. I needed to change it. I needed to freshen it up. I needed to change the flow of the game. So I made pretty much 4 changes before the second half with the injury and then the 3 changes. But all credit to the group. The things I'm asking them to do, their mentality, reacting to setbacks positively, keeping going to the end, fighting for each other. They showed all of that in the second half, and it makes me a very, very proud coach.
That first goal was very, very key to get back into the game. And 2 of your substitutes contributed, Fofana to João Pedro. And when you look at the header of João Pedro, it wasn't an easy application.
João has been tremendous. His performance, all of I look at Fofana's performance. He has personality. He takes the ball. He crosses it for the first one. Correa scores the second one. Pedro Neto's impact on the game was top. They're all doing all of the things I'm asking them to do, and that's why we're getting the results we're getting. There's a lot of improvements to make, but it's very difficult to do that quickly because we have so many games.
And as you said, this is the second game in a row that you come back from losing position to win. What does it say about this team?
They have character, they have resilience, they have determination, and they are fighting for the shirt. And that's the. You talk about tactics, or you like how you build, how you press, but there is a really nice spirit amongst them at the moment. I think they really believe in what they're doing, and hopefully that can continue for as long as I'm here.
A piece of history was made today. I think this is the first time in the Premier League era that Chelsea come from 2-0 losing at home to win a game. So a history was made tonight.
Wow, I didn't know that. I have to say the fans in the second half, they were with us. And that's when you're 2-0 down, the performance we had in the first half was poor, was unacceptable. But for them to show the support, to get behind the lads and keep the atmosphere really difficult for West Ham, it was an amazing thing to be a part of the second half. And hopefully we can give them more things to shout about in the future.
Final question for me. Estevao, is he likely to be featured on Tuesday?
I'm giving Estevao all of the time in the world right now. He's has personal issues, not family issues, and he is on compassionate leave. And I'm just thinking of him and his family in this difficult.
Wan-Bissaka, Bowen, Rosenior, and then now you have a player banned for 3 games and a defeat. Talk us through your emotions right now.
Yeah, like you said, first good half. I think we started really well. The idea that we had for the game, we put it in the pitch. I think we achieved a very good first half. The idea was to continue in the second half. Of course, Chelsea is going to react, but should have done much better in terms of our defending our box and managing the game. And yeah.
Were you frustrated with the VAR decision as well for Cucurella's goal, because it did seem that Kilman got pushed?
I have to see it. by the images. I didn't have it, so I cannot judge it. Sorry.
So close to 3 points, and Todibo actually having a chance to a really golden opportunity that he couldn't convert. How hard is it to come away with the scenes at the end, the suspension, when it looks so good that you could get some points out of this?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's really disappointing. But now we have to react. It's up to us to react and try this week to get the players to go again, knowing that it was a big punch for us, but we have to keep going.
The reaction at the end seemed to come from Traore throwing a player down, but are you quite surprised that none of the Chelsea players were punished in that fracas at the end?
Yeah, it was a big mess. I didn't see clearly the images, but only one red card. But look, who am I to tell? I didn't see the image.
And we'll talk about how West Ham didn't react to those changes in a moment, but it's the first time that Chelsea in Premier League history have ever gone on after being 2-0 down at half-time to earn themselves a victory. It was some comeback. And Shay, Chelsea, though, obviously had 5 different starters in the starting lineup and made changes to the starting lineup, and West Ham exploited that. Yeah. And they Nuno set them up well to exploit the left-hand side.
Yeah, lots of games, Chelsea as well, so Liam had to mix it up a wee bit, but definitely got it wrong first half. You know, the shape, he mentioned himself there, the team shape was all wrong. We see here down the right-hand side, I think, you know, West Ham really made a huge advantage. You have Hato, and in front of Hato you've got Garnacho, who probably didn't help him out too much in the afternoon. Again, Hato with Bowen in the air, he's not that physically strong in there, but still doesn't get a clear header. And keep an eye on Garnacho here. So can he sort of do more to defend or help his mate out? I think he can. I think he can match up the run here from Bowen. He doesn't. Then you think he gets back to the defensive shape. Now he's got to get close. Gabby's got to stop the cross and stop the danger into the box. That ball shouldn't be coming in. And yes, there's a bit of confusion in the box between Sanchez, but Pablo pits the goalkeeper off. We see again, you know, Bowen keeping the width down. He's trying to stretch that back 4. But this is Garnacho, I think there jumps. He should help his mate. Now he can't get back in to help Hato. You know, it's a 2v2 situation. It's 2v1 now. He can't get back in. But Barry Shield should come across here. It's not difficult to defend. I think the back 4 should literally slide across here. Barry Shield could have come across, Chalobah, and then Gusto slide across as well. And keep an eye on Caicedo next to the referee. He should nearly put the brakes on. And if they all slide across, they'll defend it much better. Caicedo gets linked to Castellanos. And now there's a big gaping hole in the edge of the box where I think Caicedo should be. Gusto should be round on the cover, and Caicedo should have the brakes on in that position. I think he cleans that up and they don't score. But as Liam rightly says, they're all over the shop first half. He had a big decision to make at half-time. He needed to change something drastic. Speaking to his coaching staff there, and made big changes at the half-time break. Yeah, he didn't even really wait until half-time, did he? Because he clearly had in his mind what he was going to do, because the players that he changed were out for the whole of half-time warming up, Steph.
Yeah, I think he recognised that Chelsea had a really poor first half, and that was down to West Ham, and This is Pedro, Cucurella and Fofana warming up for the majority of the half-time interval, and they made such a difference for Chelsea. They brought intensity, they brought energy, they brought a little bit of experience in these games, and I think this is the first goal for Chelsea. I think Fofana on that right-hand side, that little quality back post cross where Pedro, who's on form for Chelsea at this moment in time, gets Chelsea back into the game, and then the fans at Stamford Bridge are really enjoying themselves. I think that the team's going to get back in, and Cucurella, he has highlighted, he loves these forward runs as a left back. He likes to cause a bit of chaos in the box. West Ham have dropped so deep, and Pedro Neto puts a fantastic ball into Gusto, who heads it back across the goal, and there's Cucurella, who made that run to make it 2-2. And I've been so impressed with João Pedro, and it looks so simple, this goal. It's just forward running, forward passing, a cut back and a great finish by Enzo to get the win for Chelsea in the 92nd minute. And there's one happy manager on the side. I think his bravery, his intelligence and the impact of these subs was massive for Chelsea today.
Yeah, a huge impact. It must be just the best feeling as a manager when you make those changes and you see that come off. There was frustration, though, for West Ham because, you know, they were all over them in the first half, and you could see that kind of red mist was starting to rise a little bit, wasn't it? And there was a melee towards the end. Quite a few players got involved.
And you give a 2-goal lead away as well, because they're fighting for their lives at the bottom. Traore starts it, then João Pedro gets involved, and then the whole team, both teams are involved, and there's pushing and shoving from all angles. Anthony Taylor sort of stays away from it, tries to get a good look at it, but it's nearly impossible to keep an eye on everything at this stage. And that's where I think it's a really good use of VAR. You see here, Todibo gets his eyes are going, actually, his head's going here, but you see he grabs him around the neck. Gabby, you can't do that. You know, that picture's go around the world. It's poor from him. And the other thing is, it's the last second of the game. Anthony Taylor's no choice but to send him off. Now he's got 3-game suspension, and West Ham right in the trouble at the bottom. You're losing one of your main centre halves for 3 games. That's a big loss.
And Liam Rosenior now becomes only the 4th English manager in Premier League history to win his first 3 Premier League games. There he is on that list there. And now has won 6 of 7. It's been an amazing start for him. They weren't languishing. They weren't kind of a sinking ship. But Maresca hadn't won a game in 5, and he's turned that around. He's turned a bit of belief around. You know him well.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, I really am. And Justin Walker, his assistant, and his backroom staff and all, you know, they've worked hard to get into this position. And it might have come sooner than maybe they even thought. But again, you see his reaction at the end, all the staff together. As you say, there must be no better feeling working with your team all week. Going behind, he won't like that side of it. But to make them tactical changes, to make them switch at half-time and see it come together, it's absolutely brilliant.
And for the players as well, that belief, when you see the manager making those changes and you earn the win.
I think it's the belief in the whole squad. He's spoke about players that he's got, and when their moments come when he needs to make the change, he believes in the boys that are coming off the bench, and that was for sure today.
OK, thank you. Well, despite their domination of the champions...
Very well, doesn't he, Liam Rosenior? And that looks nice as well, doesn't it, Danny Murphy? 6 wins out of 7. The only blip is, I should say, still resurrectable, isn't it? Because it's the first leg against us.
It's been a great start for him. I mean, of course, a couple of those games you'd expect them to win, but everything's gone right, more or less, apart from that Arsenal home game. Even there, they showed good character. The subs are coming off. The quality of football, second half was really good. And he's right. I like what he said about... He kind of deviated from his own plaudits or the tactical element and just said the spirit of the players, the desire, the willingness to try and change things and impact the game. And Stamford Bridge was rocking, and that's what you want. It was a strange one because at half-time you had the booze and at full-time you had this ecstasy. And that's just football now, isn't it? It seems like every game and every manager's under pressure, and at half-time one can be, you know, you're going to lose his job the next one. And then by the end of the day, he's the hero. But no, he's had a great start, and I'm pleased for him. He's obviously a young manager who's been given a wonderful opportunity. And he couldn't have asked for a better start than he's had. Was it 5 and 6, did you say?
6 and 7.
6 and 7, yeah. Brilliant, yeah.
And look, this is the praise that he's getting, Al, in terms of how he reacts in a match. And he had to react because it was such an awful start for them, wasn't it?
Well, he had to react. I mean, he clearly picked the wrong team.
React because it was such an awful start for them, wasn't it?
Well, he had to react. I mean, he clearly picked the wrong team in the first half. But you've always got the chance to put that right at half-time. Strange decision leaving João Pedro after doing so well in midweek, particularly from a centre-forward's point of view. But they had a mountain to climb because West Ham were all over them. I mean, that's a cross, there's no doubt about it, albeit a very dangerous one and a tough one to deal with. I wouldn't put too much blame onto the goalkeeper because it's a horrible ball in for him. He can't quite come for it in case someone actually gets a touch. It's not in terms of he can't go out and get that. So they get off to a really good start in that with Jared Bowen, and then you could hear the moans and groans around at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea were under huge pressure. And the run that this guy's on, Enzo Somerville, it was no surprise that he's the one that picks it out. It was such a clever finish, and they work it well again down the right-hand side. Really clever play from Wan-Bissaka there. He gets beyond Bowen and he pulls it back into the path of Somerville, and it's a fantastic finish.
I think he did well recognising the problems down the left-hand side for Chelsea. He made that change, and Garnacho really struggled with Wan-Bissaka making those runs off the back of Jared Bowen. And I mean, obviously he should see it as a good coach, but changing it quickly, stopping that, and that definitely didn't happen the same in the second half.
And let's not forget, Chelsea were booed off at half-time, and Liam reacts. He makes a triple substitution. One of those guys that comes on is Joao Pedro. The second half, they're right back in the game.
Yeah, well, I was surprised. Like Al said, that he wasn't starting after an unbelievable couple of goals in midweek. And he comes on. This is a beautiful cross, don't get me wrong, but he's still got to guide that header and be really cute with it. And considering he was fresh onto the pitch, I thought it was a really good header from him. And as soon as that goal went in, you sensed all the fans come together. The players started then all having that bit, just that extra bit in their legs to win second balls and just throw men in the box. I mean, there were so many times the ball went in the box and Chelsea had 4 or 5 in there. And West Ham have got numbers in there. They got a bit of luck here off the bar, but Cucurella wants it more. He gets in on that back post again. Another one of the substitutions paying off for him. And it felt at 2-2 that there was only one winner, really, Al, didn't they? Even though West Ham had that chance.
Yeah, we all felt once they got that goal, 2-2 at 70 minutes, so there was still plenty of time for them to go and get the winner, and we all felt that with the momentum, with the crowd roaring them on. I mean, the manager said, didn't he, that atmosphere, and it must have been great for the players knowing the response they're getting after being booed off at half-time, to then get those 2 goals, and then they go searching and hunting for that for the third one. It's another clever finish, and you can see the reaction of not only the players and the staff on the side, but the crowd, and rightly so, because they've had to work very, very hard for that for those 3 points. A clever finish from him, and he pushes it into the ground, Fernandez, but the keeper's going to his right-hand side, can't stop himself, and yeah, it's a big 3 points for them.
Big 3 points, big goal from Enzo Fernandez, 11th of the season. That's his best season to date. There was a red card to come as well to Diba. There might have been a couple of red cards in this scramble. What did you make of this at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was just stupid, wasn't it? I mean, not only did they lose the game, they're going to lose to Diba for 3 games now because of his reaction. You can see him coming in there. Yeah, I mean, look, we've all been there in the heat of the moment, but it's just turned into a disaster afternoon for them, because not only, as I said, have they been beaten in the way they have done, but they've now lost him for 3 games.
And he could have been the hero, you know, at 2-2.
Yeah.
He missed a glorious chance with late in the game where he could have got the goal, and maybe he was probably still frustrated at that, but ridiculous, because 3 games now, and he's actually done all right today. He's played quite well.
Yeah, what do you make of it from a West Ham point of view? They'd come into this one back-to-back wins, so close to getting something. They end up with absolutely nothing. But will they take some heart, do you think, from that?
Yeah, I think so. First half, they look sharper, they look more confident, they look more of a goal threat. Chelsea away is never an easy game. They've got lots of quality. We saw the strength of the bench at Chelsea, but you know, West Ham, Somerville, Bowen, both look a threat now. The 2 new boys have added a new dimension to them up top. So they'll be in the fight, but they've got a mountain to climb.
Yeah. Right, next up, Ellen Road for Leeds again.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at that 3rd goal, the winning goal.
Well, can we do something first, if you don't mind, Pete? Because I think we should look at that Todibo chance.
Oh, please don't.
that felt like a really big moment in the game at 2-2. And at 2-1, it obviously made a change, the manager. He went to a back 3. Now, I personally, I totally get this one, because, you know, I've been on the pitch at times when things are running away from you and you're thinking, right, how can I change it? How can I wrestle back the initiative? and he decides to go to a back three. Now, I remember the game earlier this season, West Ham played with back three, and they really struggled against his Chelsea side. And as soon as he did that, he brought Kilman on. You had the two up front, because they played probably what you would call a 4-4-2 first half. They changed it, and then that started to bring wave after wave of attack from Chelsea's point of view. But this was a massive chance for your former side, Rob. Todibo, he had an interesting second half.
You always felt the craziness of the game, that you thought something was going to come. And and Gary Neville mentioned it, the three centre-halves on the pitch and Souček, and they're combining in there. And it is just that little stab, these huge moments within a game. You're thinking, he can't believe it himself. Look at him. That's the moment. That's the moment.
Game over.
That could have been the game there and then. And it's just those finite margins when you're down the bottom. There you go against you.
Because we weren't sure, actually, if it hit the keeper or we didn't know where it had gone. We just couldn't believe he didn't score. And that felt like, oh, no, they're in trouble now, because we've just seen that film so many times before.
As a player, as a West Ham player, you're looking at that opportunity, thinking, we needed to score there.
Yeah.
You're a Chelsea player, though. You're looking at saying, we've got another chance to get a winner here. And that's exactly what they've done.
Absolutely. And it was a really, really well-worked goal. Because at this time, now it's chaos in the stadium. And it's really about, can we pick the right pass? Can we stay calm in these situations? And he mentioned it, and João Pedro really does. You can see that you've got your two forwards up there playing together, 4-4-2, like he mentioned. It's a bit more traditional, old-style English football. So we get once Cole Palmer's on the ball, he's calm. He doesn't rush the pass, finds it into the right man. Then Caicedo slides a beautiful pass into him. And I'm thinking there, how many times have we seen this there? I just want to highlight this guy here, the number 8. Now, because, listen, he's my cousin, I don't mind talking about him. He was the greatest number 8 of goal-scoring, probably midfield player we've ever seen. This was what Frank Lampard did. I'm sure he must have done it to you a few times,
horrible.
Rob. He did it to me. Last minutes of games, when everyone else is tired, you can see Souček, Fernandez, they're tired, their legs have gone. He makes a brilliant run and a great decision as well.
We're all screaming shoot. We're all screaming shoot at that point. And it's a fantastic finish just to wrap his foot around the ball. Because you're thinking, it's a little bit behind him. As you can see, he manages to adjust his feet and he's not worried about the contact itself. It's just get the ball on target. West Ham were absolutely shot to pieces by then. Callum Wilson didn't respond to Caicedo. Then Souček gets pulled out. That creates a yard or two of space for Enzo Fernandez. And they capitalise it,
Absolutely.
And it's so well worked.
I don't think we can see it again, because I think this is a really good example of just staying calm in the moment when you get a... Can I do that again? I'm sure I can, yeah. Because that finish is... Sometimes we're all looking as a player, there'll be someone's playing tomorrow, a young kid playing football. You're looking for the perfect finish. You're looking for a clean strike of a ball. But it can't always be clean. One thing you cannot do if you arrive in this area, if you're Enzo, is stick it into the crowd. Stick it in... Is that Shed End, that one? It's the Matthew Harding stand. You've got to just get on top of it, even if you hit it into the ground first. Compress the ball into the ground, and then at least you know you're going to hit the target. And that's what Enzo does so well here, because he just makes sure he gets any kind of contact on it. It doesn't matter if it's clean or not, hit the target.
To admire in that first half, but then obviously a really difficult second half. How did you assess it all?
Yeah, like you said, good first half and bad second half.
What do you feel you got particularly right in that opening 45 minutes?
We played really good. We were in control, defend well, and every time we went up, we create danger, we score. The team played really well.
It seemed like they played to your instructions as well. You got on the front foot early?
Yeah. We started well the game, and that was the idea for the entire game. But it was not.
Half-time was exactly what Chelsea needed and probably what you didn't as well. What did you say to your players at half-time? You knew Chelsea would come on to you.
That we need to defend, that we need to do things properly and keep the same idea, stay in control of the game, manage the momentum of the game. We knew that Chelsea would go and react, but we defended bad. I think we should have done better.
Why do you think it was so difficult in that second half then? What changed? Was it mentality? Was it more than that?
I have to see to assess properly. But I think we could avoid it. Crosses that into our box. Of course, there are numbers there, but we have bodies to control better.
Do you feel as well it's perhaps a natural human reaction, especially when you concede one goal, to retreat slightly?
Yeah, it's the reaction, but it's not what we should have done. We should have kept the same idea of the first half.
You changed to 3 at the back as well. It's easy to look at hindsight and say maybe it could have been different. Did that maybe invite more pressure?
No, it was about trying to control. We're not able to do it to the wingers, to allow our fullbacks to go in and keep the 1v1 defensive, and at the same time have people in the box to control it.
It must be incredibly difficult for coaches to stand watching on the sidelines and see something they can't directly affect. Do you feel that the players, it wasn't a case of not standing up, but just that confidence was maybe draining from them as the game went on?
I'll not speak about my players. What I have to tell him, I'll tell him personally.
Do you feel it's important moving on from this, though, to take all those positives in the opening 45 minutes?
Yeah, now it's about how we're going to deal with this, how we're going to react this week. Still a lot of football to be played. It's crucial that we bounce back.
They've shown you that there's a lot of quality in the squad. They've shown you they can score goals against top sides as well. Is the next bit showing you that they can play under the sort of pressure you were put on then?
Yeah, the next bit is to try and defend properly and have a clean sheet. When you score two goals away from home, the game should be ours.
I appreciate your time, Nuno. Thanks, Nuno.
Cheers.
Well, it certainly will be a frustrating result for West Ham and Nuno Espirito Santo because they are still stuck in the relegation zone, 5 points away from safety. And the way that they've been playing, the way that they've been performing recently, coming into this game off the back of 2 wins, they will be really, really disappointed that they weren't able to take advantage of that momentum.
Yeah, and momentum's a key word, Payne. And you look at the way that they played in those games, you thought this was a really different test. Then you saw the starting 11, you thought, actually, we've given ourselves, or they've given us half a chance here. And they took that chance. And then, as we said, decision-making started to go, positioning started to go, legs started to go, and it was a case of whether they could hold on. And you're feeling it was a little bit of a backward step every time that Chelsea attacks, and then they were on the back foot. And it is so frustrating, but it was a case of how long could they keep that going for, and it wasn't long enough.
If you're Nuno Espirito Santo, as a manager, what are you thinking about a game like this when clearly the first half, everything that happened worked really well? Then you go into that second half. What do you think he's thinking now about the players and their reaction to that second half?
Right now, because like every other manager I've ever met, he's distraught. He's probably thinking, how on earth are we going to keep this team in the Premier League? Because it's such a massive body blow for them. I think in the next day or so, once he starts to watch that game back and he looks at that first half, he'll be thinking, if I can get my side playing like that, we've got a great chance of staying up. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. They had a great shape to them. They had men in the box at the right time. Fernandez in midfield was running the game, and they looked an exceptional side. Somerville's a massive threat on one side, Jared Bowen on the other. The 2 players that are brought in the window have done OK. I think, yeah, we've got a great chance. And I think that's what he's going to have to try and do now. As much as he's hurt, he probably won't want to talk to anyone. We didn't want to talk to the interview. He'd give us 2 or 3 word answers, and I don't blame him. That's probably how distraught he is. But there are positives there. That first half was magnificent. They could have been 3-4-0 up. They weren't, and unfortunately they were taken apart in that second half. But there will be positives that he can take, because I think especially those first couple of goals at your old side got, Rob, they were fantastic pieces of play.
Yeah, and they were the positives. You know, you look at that first half, there's positives to take from that for the rest of the season. And they were so proactive, so front-footed in that first half. It really made a huge difference as to the outlay of the game themselves, the stadium, the atmosphere, and everything within the game for that first half.
There's also a big game next week, Friday night football, which is Leeds against Forest, which I'm sure West Ham will be keeping an eye on as well, because West Ham playing Burnley in their next game. Do they look at those fixtures? Because I remember when I was speaking to you last couple of weeks ago, it's about bringing the other teams into this relegation fight with you, so you're not creating too much of a gap.
Well, you look at the games that they've got to come up. They've got to do the next few without Todibo after his red card, but that next week you're thinking is huge. That could be the final nail in the coffin for Burnley. And then you're saying, OK, we can start pushing on the teams above. And you're looking at that game, you're kind of hoping the game tomorrow, Forest against Palace, is a massive one where you're thinking, well, please, no one win. And then from there, can no one win in the next one? You're below the dotted line, and I've been there too many times. You're desperately looking at the other team's fixtures thinking, just go our way, please just go our way. When you're above the line, you think, well, let's just take care of ourselves. At the minute, he'll be looking at those games going, do us a favour.
Absolutely. We look at Daniel Farke, his emotions today. He gets beaten, 4-0 at home, and then he probably driving back after the game, listening to the game on the radio. They're 2-0 up West Ham. He's thinking all of a sudden we're banging another, you know, in a massive relegation fight now. And then second half, they obviously get a 3-2 win. I could feel it. I can hear him now from jumping, the amount of emotion he must have had in his house there. And that's the emotions you're going to go through. So massive result for them. But for West Ham's point of view now, they've just got to somehow find that confidence and get themselves ready for next week. Kilman, I guess, will come in as a centre-back instead of Tadibo will get 3-game ban, because that was obviously very rash and it doesn't help the cause whatsoever.
Yeah, let's have a look at that, because there was a little bit of late drama, really, wasn't there? Tadibo, what did you make of this whole situation?
Well, it's no surprise that Cucurella was involved at the start of it, and he's doing his utmost. And to be fair, it's pretty much Traore instigating.
He can't do that, Traore,
no,
can he?
He can't do that. And it's just... And from that point, I think Gary Neville said it well, he just completely lost it to Tadibo. You can't put your hands around your throat. From a long time ago, I think it was Casemiro a couple of years ago, did it just off the pitch, just put his hands to the throat. And as soon as you do that, you're toast.
Robert Sanchez does unbelievably well, though, to stop him here. He could be a boxing referee. Look at him coming over that pace, gets in the way, because that could have got a lot worse as well, Rob, couldn't it?
Yeah, and you're looking at doing Tadibo a favour, because it's 3 games at the minute. It could have been 5, it could have been 6. If he makes contact with biting someone or something like that, you're in a world of trouble.